Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back to BONK Update today. So in Q3 I'm looking to give you a free coin that can give you 2 to 10x in Q4. So I'm gonna try to actually wait and see what the market really does, because I think that between August and September we might have a red market one more time and a very big discount from altcoin, and I can actually help you out to get some amazing entry during that time. So BONK has failed to really climb up to 2121, and right now I'm going to show you what is going on in here. But before that, you can see that there's this trend line going on, and the retest has never happened for that trend line. So I thought that the intention here is to go all the way up and retest that trend line. Yesterday I've marked two entries for you, and I've talked about two entries that could have happened. And number one is the fact that you would have just actually come up here and you would have entered right over here. And the second one was this trend line that was being maintained for quite some time. So if I actually show you the trend line in here, and you can see that it came down. The retest was also successful. You have one touch in there, you got another touch in there, another touch in here, and you did actually touch it again, right? So you dropped down a little bit and you touched it, you were holding it, and then finally you dropped it, right? Finally you lost it. So maybe you could have used 0.7% risk. That would have been enough. For example, by the time it came down to that trend line here, you could have put the stop loss a little bit, maybe to 1641. 1.2% is still pretty okay, fine. But now you have lost the trend line, okay? You've lost the trend line. If you took the trade, just get the hell away from that trade. Simple as that. And now that you've lost the trend line on the 4-hour time frame, it does look like this movement all along was a creation of what? It was a creation of bear flag, right? So to me, it does look like a bear flag has been made, and you have something that looks like that. And eventually you're looking for a technical target from top to bottom right there, and you could be looking at BONK coming down, maybe move up a little bit for the retest on 1719, and finally drop all the way for 29% correction, maybe down to 1223, because this is pretty much a confirmed bear flag, and this is a pretty much confirmed break to the downside. However, if you come above nearly 1822, and nowadays the market is just so manipulated that it is actually possible you just go back to 1829 and manipulate the patterns and even try to do some weird stuff going on with the market. It's almost as if they're giving you the bear flag and making you excited, and eventually if they feel they want to actually invalidate the bear flag, they'll just do it, right? They'll just do it. So it's frustrating, and that's why I'm gonna play a little bit slow in here. All right, I'm gonna have to play a little bit slow, because in Q2, this is the last month of Q2, and I'm not even expecting Q3 to be any good, but I do expect Q3 to have some final crashes at least. Now that actually works in my favor. It actually can work in your favor, because when you have that final crush, at least you don't have this BS going on around with all this manipulation. At least when you have a crash, what happens is that the market is discounted and it's just a good idea to buy at a discounted price. At least you have that edge in there, so it makes it less riskier. Now when a crash happens, it doesn't really matter if you manipulate at that point. It doesn't matter if you make a bear flag and take out a bear flag. It doesn't really matter, right? Because at that point you're going to be oversold, you're going to be really, really cheap and discounted, and you just have that good chance of expecting a move back up. And once the market moves back up, you can actually end up with at least 2x, 100%, maybe even to 10x if that coin actually gets even crazy in Q4. Q4 is a good time in crypto. So it's a plan. It's known as long-term vision. It's a bird's eye view vision in here. So this one project I've been giving for free for the past 2 to 3 years, and it has been working so well. And I think it's now just adjusted as a traditional thing nowadays that I do for my members. I'd like to give back at some point in year, so that you can actually enjoy something out of it. So it's free. If you're not on Discord, come in Discord and wait for that time that this time actually comes in, because it's gonna come. And by that time, when that time actually comes in, you will be ready and it will be announced again in here on Discord, and then you can actually get in on a coin, and then rip off just the free profit out there. So that's all for the video on Bonk. I'm going to see you the next one. Love.